definition from your 24-hour news source. You're watching KCRG-TV9 News at 10.
We have breaking news we've been following out of Coralville tonight. The Iowa Department of Public Safety says authorities have arrested the suspect, who they say fired shots at Coral Ridge Mall tonight. This happened around 7:30, and mall security quickly shut down the mall. We understand one person has been hit by those bullets. We have team coverage tonight, beginning with KCRG-TV9's Mark Carlson. Mark, what do we know right now?
Well, Beth, it was quite a scene out here at the Coral Ridge Mall. Friday night, a lot of people at the mall, and these gunshots started going off. It caught a lot of people off guard, and people just went flooding out of the mall to get away.
It's insane. It's scary, and it's like just nothing could describe it, really. Snai Sanchez was inside the Coral Ridge Mall with her little brother at the food court at the Target when she heard 3 gunshots. She says what followed was mayhem. We just heard bang, 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 and we see people pointing, and some people drop straight to the ground, and that's when we freaking connected the dots and we hauled ass out of the mall. Colin Sanchez and her brother quickly escaped into the nearby neighborhood where they lived. They said their parents were frantically looking for them as they heard all the lights and sirens. They say a lot of people were clearly shaken inside the mall.
Like, once I heard the gunshots, we just like saw everyone petrified, like white faces, everything. They were like grabbing whatever they could, like their children. And then they were just like running out of the door. Everybody was grabbing their children, their wallets, and whatever the heck they had in hand, and they just got out. Everybody was going in their cars, piling as many people as they could in there and just getting out.
Now I'm back here live with another witness who was actually much closer to the actual shooting. Jeff Karuchev, tell me what you saw tonight.
I just got done eating dinner, and my girlfriend and I were standing talking, getting ready to walk out, and I heard gunfire out of the corner of my eye. I saw the girl, her knees buckle, and she collapsed, and I pushed my girlfriend behind the cooler and told her to get down, and people were running and screaming, and I stepped out past the cooler, and I watched the guy walk away that had shot her, and then I just jumped out and tried to help her with what I could.
You said it appeared to be a targeted type shooting and not a random shooting.
That was my inference, yeah, because he clearly walked up to her and shot her, and there was hundreds and hundreds of people in the vicinity, so if it was more of a random thing, he could have started shooting at more people, because there was definitely plenty of other people right in the direct vicinity. And as far as her condition, you said you tried to help her out. Any word on how she looked? Yeah, she was a poor young girl. I mean, she was, I would guess, 17, 18 years old, and she didn't look good, and we tried to do what we could. I'm not trained in any medical thing, but there was another guy there that was, and he actually started CPR and stuff on her, so we did the best we could until the law enforcement and medical teams got here, and then they took over on it.
Well, thank you, Jeff. Thank you for talking with us and certainly for jumping in and helping out here in this tense situation. We're going to continue our team coverage on this apparently tragic night here. We're going to go to Chris Earl, who's also live here at the mall. Chris?
Thank you, Mark. At this point, the law enforcement barricades are not at all of the entrances here at Coral Ridge Mall. We're coming from the west side of the mall, just off the main entrance that you pull in if you're going eastbound on Interstate 80. It was about 40 minutes ago, though, we gathered this video from across I-80 on the north end of the mall. Target on the left and the food court on the right. Mark Carlson spoke with witnesses who ran right after hearing the gunshots. Yet even hours after the shots were fired, dozens of cars and trucks, at least 100 by our count, were packed outside of the Target and the food court entrances. There were many people in the mall, many people who had to stay, though, until law enforcement officers allowed them to leave the property. This couple was shopping in Target, and they shared with us what they experienced.
We were in Target, just over by the health food section. Heard about 3 to 4 shots as we were over there. Heard a couple people yell out shots at that moment. Everybody evacuated Target out the front and the back doors. Some went into Best Buy where they were ushered into the back. About 10 minutes later, they let us out of Best Buy, and that's when the multiple task force agencies had showed up.
Did you get a sense anybody was injured?
Not personally, but we've been hearing reports of at least one person was shot.
I just heard 3 gunshots. I work out here, and that's all I saw or heard. I didn't see anything, just people running.
Okay. How terrifying was it?
It was freaky.
We've also heard reports from people who were in lockdown at some of the anchor stores, the department stores, for minutes that probably felt much longer. So many questions, though, still linger, even as the Department of Public Safety confirms that a suspect is in custody. The severity of the injuries to the one victim, who we understand is a woman. Where exactly within the mall did the shooting take place? What was the motive at this point? So many people in a crowded mall here in Coralville on a Friday night, yet so few answers at this point. Reporting live in Coralville, Earl, KCRG-TV9 News.
Turning now to weather. After last night's heavy rain, storm sewers, rivers certainly could use a break. Joe, what's our chance of rain overnight?
I think we'll see some very light rain or drizzle, as we've seen through much of the daytime hours. That won't cause any additional problems, but it's just going to keep things rather damp outside. Take a look at Pinpoint Doppler radar. You can see some of that drizzle, pockets of it here and there. That will be common as we head through the nighttime hours into the morning hours. Also could lead to some patchy areas of fog for your Saturday morning commute, so just keep that in mind. The mercury hasn't moved a lot all day. We're at 63 in Decorah to 66 degrees in Washington. As we head through the morning hours, we'll see some of that light drizzle in, maybe an isolated shower as we head into the afternoon, but a better chance later in the day as temperatures get back into the middle 70s for some showers and storms. And then we do have another threat of heavy rain before the weekend is through. We'll detail that coming up in a little while.
Thank you, Joe. Police body cam video shows how a toddler ended up in the hospital following a domestic assault incident inside a Vinton home. KCRG-TV9 Sarah McCarthy joins us with the story. And Sarah, how did this taser hit the baby's leg?
Well, Beth, yes, one barb did hit the toddler's skin. Police say when they entered a home on East 4th Street, Joshua Hendricks was holding his 20-month-old child in his arms. When officers repeatedly told Hendricks he was under arrest for domestic assault, he refused to hand the child over multiple times. That's when one officer chose to deploy a taser. This video shows exactly what happened.
I'm asking you to put your son down and turn around, place your hands behind your back. No, I'm not doing that.
These are the instructions police repeatedly gave Joshua Hendricks. Vinton police and Benton County deputies responded to this home for a domestic assault.
We can talk about it all night long, but I need you to put your son down, please. No, I'm not going to jail for something, please.
At this home, officers reportedly found an adult female with bruises and scratches from being punched, choked, and thrown against the wall.
What is all about that fight? That's why I don't want her in here.
Police say that's when Hendricks shut himself inside with a 5-year-old and a toddler.
The officers tried to talk with the offender, tried to talk him to give him the child up. He refused. We did not want the situation to escalate any further.
After several minutes of unsuccessful negotiating, this happened. An officer deployed a taser. 2 barbs hit Hendricks, 1 missed, and the 4th hit the child on the leg. 2 barbs have to make contact for electrical currents to be released, meaning the child only sustained a surface wound. Chief Paxton says his officers did the right thing.
If the offender would have just listened to the commands of the officer, none of this would have happened.
Police are charging Hendricks with domestic abuse, assault, child endangerment, causing injury, and interference with official acts. Now, the 5-year-old did make it out of the house okay, and the toddler is also expected to be okay. And Beth, we do have that full raw body cam video under this story on KCRG.com.
Grateful the kids are okay physically, obviously, but emotionally, just a very difficult situation for them. Thank you, Sarah. Some Alliant Energy customers say they're getting a new kind of scam phone call in the Cedar Rapids area. Customers say they're receiving calls asking for personal information from someone claiming to work for Alliant. The scammers threaten that they'll install a new meter and raise customer bills if they don't comply. Before, scammers were asking Alliant customers for a prepaid credit card. Alliant Energy wants to remind customers to never give out credit card or personal information over the phone.
If somebody calls you out of the blue and says you need to provide this or something's going to happen, you can pretty much rest assured that that's a scam. Just hang up.
Alliance says more than a dozen customers reported receiving those scam calls in the past few days. Well, we're used to seeing flash flooding causing problems with streets, but high water yesterday caused problems with cars whose drivers had no idea till their vehicles started acting funny. And kids hoping to play at a popular Marion Park this morning just couldn't. Those stories still coming up.
Live, on air, and online from your 24-hour news source, Bruce Owney, Beth Malicki, Chief Meteorologist Joe Winters, and Sports Director Scott Saville. This is KCRG-TV9 News at 10.
People who filled up their gas tanks at one Cedar Rapids station got more than gasoline today. The company says Thursday's flash flooding may have led to water getting into fuel they were selling. As KCRG-TV9's Chris Earl reports, this is little comfort for the drivers who are stuck with stalled cars.
A look inside the Baumgartner family Chevy Trailblazer reveals the ambitious start of a road trip. Iced tea in a bottle, the Minnie Mouse pillow in the front seat, all for a vacation that Josh Baumgartner, the father, the architect of this trip for 7 people among 3 generations, had planned out for months. Just after 6 a.m. on Friday, Josh said his family filled up 2 vehicles here. The Road Ranger at Blair's Ferry and 380 in Cedar Rapids, one on pump 1, the other on pump 3. They drove away.
Maybe a minute later, my wife calls and says, hey, we can't get the Trailblazer past 50 miles an hour. And then by that time, we got on Highway 100. I can't get our van past 50 miles an hour.
2 vehicles wrecked within minutes. The Friday departure for a vacation 600 miles away also dinged.
We go to Walmart, turn the van off, and it hasn't started since. And so we sat in Walmart parking lot for about 5 hours.
Now the Trailblazer and the family's Chevy Ventures sit in 2 different auto shop parking lots.
We got reimbursed for $55 in the gas, but then we cut a check for all the tows.
How many people were affected? The owner of Dera's Towing said on Friday they were busy all morning pulling out vehicles from the flash flooding, but they estimated about 10 tows were related to the fuel situation at the Road Ranger. Managers at Pat McGrath's service department in Hiawatha told us they had at least 7 vehicles to repair between their various shops because of the bad fuel. Late Friday afternoon, we heard from GPM Investments, the parent company of this specific Road Ranger. COO Chris Giacobone said that one of the underground fuel storage tanks had taken on water, and once detected, the company, quote, immediately shut down all tanks and fuel dispensers. The company said an unusually high water table led to water underground getting into one of the storage tanks. By Friday afternoon, plenty of drivers were still filling up there, but doing so alongside repair crews on scene. Yet for the Baumgartners, with daughters taking all this in stride, this vacation brought quite a story. In Cedar Rapids, Chris Earl, KCRG-TV9 News.
And the station's parent company no longer is Road Ranger, as Chris mentioned. It's GPM Investments. That company is handling claims. And you can find information on how to file a claim on Chris's online story. Just connect with KCRG.com. A look at the damage flash flooding caused is coming up.
And today we had clouds, some light drizzle. Take a look at the highs we saw across eastern Iowa. Those were established earlier. We will get back near 80 for the weekend. We'll show you when next. Keep it here on TV9.
Now the first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Joe Winters.
It's the 100th anniversary. They say they have the greatest dough on earth. That is the St. Ludmila's Kolache Festival, and that was the sale that happened tonight. There will be more kolaches available through the weekend. They are expecting to sell 65,000 of the pastries filled with all sorts of different fruits. The kolache forecast does include some drizzle as we head into Saturday. Late Saturday, maybe a storm, and then Sunday, some scattered showers and storms, upper 70s and some lower 80s, running from 7 to 9 Saturday, 7 to 2 on Sunday. Lots of family fun and lots of great kolaches. Hope you can enjoy it. Here's a look at our radar loop from Pinpoint Doppler radar. Notice the scattered nature of very light drizzle. We will see light drizzle and fog as we head through the nighttime hours. That will last into the morning. That could affect a morning drive if you're heading off. Now, last night's flash flooding that we saw has prompted one river warning here in eastern Iowa. The Iowa River near Marengo right now sitting at about 16.5 feet. That's 2.5 feet above flood stage, expecting to rise to about 16.7. That happening sometime tomorrow morning. Cedar Rapids North City Cam really tells us what the day was like. A little drizzle, the gray clouds, a little more drizzle, the gray cloud, dry for a period of time, and then a little more drizzle moved in. We didn't really change things a lot today. In fact, the mercury held in the 60s for most of us, only varying by a couple of degrees. And clouds really stretch from the Great Lakes all the way back down, as we can see, into the Central Plains. There's a frontal boundary in this area. Right now, we're noticing the showers and storms firing up across southern Missouri back into Kansas. As we head into tomorrow, and especially Sunday, that front lifts to the north. As it lifts to the north, the scattered showers and storms will lift to the north, and a better chance that we'll see that, especially on Sunday night into Monday, another threat that we could see some heavy rain. So Pinpoint Futurecast shows once in a while some green. That's light drizzle, maybe a light shower as we head into the morning hours, mainly just some drizzle and fog. The best chance, or the first chance of some showers and storms developing really, I think, holds off until late on Saturday, probably 6 p.m. or later. Not to say we're going to see some drizzle. That would be with us on and off through the day, but there come some of those storms. Notice that's around 6 p.m. Here's our forecast as we head through the nighttime hours. Near 60 degrees, and we'll look for the winds to remain from the east at 5 to 15. Drizzle, fog with us in the morning. We'll see an isolated shower or storm chance late, a high of 78 in Iowa City. East winds expected right around 5 to 10. 80 degrees on Sunday, the best chance of rain. Early Monday, that rain wraps up. We could see a break as we head through the later part of our Monday into the day Tuesday. Late Tuesday into Wednesday, another chance of scattered showers and storms. And as you can see, that continues as we head into next week, a very active weather week. And we're going to continue to also see some very other chances of some showers and storms. Highs in the 80s.
Thank you, Joe. Coming up, we're going to have an update on that shooting at Coral Ridge Mall, as well as flash flooding that did mean cleanup at a park in Marion today. And some people should still stay off one trail in Lynn County because of the high water. Stay with us. We have an update to the Coral Ridge Mall shooting from tonight. KCRG-TV out of Des Moines is reporting that the victim, a woman, has died. The suspect is in police custody in tonight's shooting. Authorities say he acted alone. Now, the shooting happened somewhere near the food court and the Target entrance inside the Coral Ridge Mall in Coralville. This happened before 8 p.m. A witness, Jeff Carros, said he saw a man walk up to a young woman and shoot her several times. Many people were nearby when that shooting happened. They went running or took cover. Others had to stay in the mall while investigators combed the building. Again, tonight's shooting at Coralville Mall in Coralville has apparently ended with one woman dead and a man in police custody. The flash flood waters that swamped Cedar Rapids streets overnight drained away pretty quickly, but there was still a bit of a mess to clean up this morning. One example was this, Thomas Park in Marion. Crews had to close the park and nearby Boyson Trail for a day-long cleanup. That included shoveling sand off grass and replacing wood chips washed away from playground areas. The park was also closed because there was standing water in some of the parking lots. Still, workers say they've had bigger flood messes before.
And I remember last summer it was all flooded. I think the water was clear up into here, if I remember right. It took quite a while to get it fixed back up and looking good again.
Thomas Park, except for Boyson Trail, reopened late Friday afternoon. That trail is closed until the water goes down a little more. One Cedar Rapids road also was closed for part of the day today. Neighbors say a section of Ellis Boulevard west of Edgewood Road also drains very slowly after heavy rain. Coming up next, an Iowa State runner brings home a national title. Tonight, Scott has highlights from the NCAA championships. And Iowa City West will play for a state soccer title. Scott has highlights from the girls' state tournament next here on TV9.
Now, KCRG-TV9 Sports with sports director Scott Saville.
Iowa City West is the only local team left at the girls' state soccer tournament, and they will play for the 3A title tomorrow. West got off to a fast start against Johnston in the 3A semis. 7 minutes in, Reagan Steigleder dekes quite a few defenders, fires a shot, and scores. To put the women of Troy up 1-0, that would be the score at halftime. Second half, Johnston nearly ties it up. Megan Kimmery hits the post, but the keeper, Caitlin Ryan, is there to cover it up. 51st minute, West with a huge goal from Leah Rhodes to make it 2-0. Johnston did score a goal, but West hangs on for the 2-1 win. They'll play Dowling in the championship tomorrow at 4.
It seems like we meet Johnston every year that we're at the state tournament. Every single year it's a battle. Every single year my heart rate goes up like crazy. We just came out on the end of this one. You know, they were pressing us at the end.
As you can tell, everyone's really, really happy. I mean, I can't even describe how happy our team is and how much this means to us.
Josh Christensen continues our team coverage with highlights of the 1A semifinals.
We start with Iowa City Regina versus Nevada. It's a rematch from last year's semifinals. 16th minute, Nevada strikes first. Ellie Castlebaum blows it right by the keeper. Not even 3 minutes later, Abby Stevenson gets around the keeper. She has a wide open net for the easy goal. She added another to give Nevada a 3-0 lead at halftime. Second half, the Regals go on the attack, but iron was their enemy. Anna Zanil hits the far post on that long shot. That happened a couple of times. Regina would get on the board midway through the second half on the Lauren Gardy goal, but the Regals can't get the comeback. Nevada wins it 3-1.
When you look at the performance in the second half, we're 3-0 down at halftime. We've missed a goal 2 minutes into the second half. We've hit the bar. If those 2 goals go in, we're looking at a 3-3 tie in overtime, but it just wasn't to be.
In the other Class 1A match, Waterloo Columbus versus Bishop Heelan. Jensen Froelich puts Heelan on the board first with this goal in the corner. Second half, Waterloo Columbus tries to tie it up, sets it up for Megan McElmeal's header, but it just goes over the crossbar. The Sailors' keeper, Gabrielle Prenger, kept her team in the game. She makes a diving save right there, but they could not get the equalizer. Bishop Heelan wins it 1-0.
We made some adjustments at half to their 3 center mids, and it helped. Second half, I thought we were came out a lot stronger, but we just had to put the ball in the back of the net. We were struggling with that. But at the end of the day, each and every single sub, girl on the bench, on the field gave 110%.
From Des Moines, Josh Christensen, TV9 Sports.
Thanks, Josh. After getting rained out yesterday, the Colonels played 2 tonight against Great Lakes on KCRG 9.2. Colonels lit the scoreboard first in the second inning when Max Murphy, with 2 runners on, drives one to deep center field all the way to the wall for a 2 RBI triple. The Loons came back to tie the game 3-3. The game went to extra innings. In the top of the 13th, Murphy with a 2-base throwing error, airmailing second base. Loons made him pay for it with the Josmer Cordero RBI base hit to right for the 4-3 win in 13. They're just starting game 2. It's going to be a long night at the stadium. Finally, congrats to Iowa State's Edward Kemboy, who won the NCAA National Championship in the 800 meters tonight in Eugene, Oregon, with a big kick to win a tactical race in 1:49.23. The Hawkeyes' Aaron Mallett in lane 1 finished 5th in the 110 high hurdles with a blazing time of 13.4. Looked like a nice night to run.
Very nice night. Much better than last night.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Scott. And tomorrow, staying dry?
Yeah, about like today. So that light drizzle, fog in the morning, it'll be with us. And then late in the day, probably in the evening hours, there's a chance of some thunderstorms developing. They'll be very scattered. There's a look at Pinpoint Doppler radar. You do see that light drizzle out there. And again, that continues as we head through the nighttime hours. There's a look at our extended forecast, more active. Best chance of the next heavy rain, that would be Sunday later into the day on Monday. We'll be keeping an eye on that.
Thank you for joining us for the KCRG-TV9 News at 10. We will have updates on the shooting at Coral Ridge Mall on KCRG.com, as well as in the morning news tomorrow. We do appreciate you sticking with us and hope you will join us over the weekend and catch up with us here on Monday. Take care.